It's a pleasure and privilege to introduce His Excellency the Ambassador. His Excellency Piyush Srivastava joined as Ambassador of India to Bahrain on 28th of July 2020. Prior to his current assignment, he was serving as Joint Secretary, Head of Northern Division at Ministry of External Affairs, New Delhi. Ambassador Srivastava joined the Indian Foreign Service in 1998. He began his diplomatic career in the Embassy of India, Berlin. Thereafter, he served as Second Secretary and First Secretary at the Indian High Commission in Ghana and as First Secretary and Consular in charge of Political Development Cooperation, Press, Information and Culture at Indian Embassy in Bhutan. Srivastava has also served as Consular Deputy Chief of Mission at Embassy of India, Nepal. During his tenure as Deputy Chief of Mission at Indian Embassy in Kathmandu, he coordinated India's relief and rescue efforts for Nepal following the massive earthquake that struck Nepal in 2015. And Joint Secretary, Head of BIMSTEC, BIMSTEC, which is abbreviation for the Bay of Bengal Initiative for Multi-Sectoral Technical and Economic Cooperation. That's a mouthful, it's pretty long. He was also as the director of SARC division. Everybody knows SARC, so I'm not expanding it, at the Ministry of External Affairs, New Delhi. He has also served as Joint Secretary at the Indian Council of World Affairs, a premier think tank of India. He is multilingual and speaks Hindi, English, and German. Ambassador Srivastava holds a BTech and MTech degrees from Indian Institute of Technology, Kanpur. He is married to Ms. Monica Srivastava, and they have one son. And over to you, Raj.
Thank you, Madhavan. So that's a pretty impressive credentials. But one thing which Madhavan didn't say, and which I will let you out, it's a secret, that this happens to be the youngest Indian ambassador that we have had. Okay, so that's on record, that he's the youngest Indian ambassador. So we can look for a lot of energy in his ambassadorship here. Ambassador, the floor is all yours. We are waiting to listen to you. Ambassador, you have to mute yourself.
Thank you, Mr. Madhavan. And thanks for such a detailed introduction, and I hope I am able to be true to all expectations of energy, and definitely I have come here with a vision, with a commitment to take our bilateral relations to newer heights, and I would assure you all for that. Your Excellency, Mr. Abdul Nabi Shola, Mr. Raj Dhamani, Chairman of Bahrain India Society, distinguished board members and members, gentlemen. I wrote ladies and gentlemen, but I see here all gentlemen, so I will say gentlemen, unless I don't see any.
There are a few ladies hidden behind the screen, yes.
Oh, okay. No, then I correct myself. Ladies, distinguished ladies and gentlemen, a very good evening to all of you. It is a pleasure meeting and interacting with you all. Unfortunately, I could only meet in person with very few members of Bahrain India Society last month due to COVID restrictions, as you all know. I am happy and thankful to the chairman, Mr. Raj Dhamani, for organizing this virtual interaction, giving me an opportunity to meet with the members of the society. Bahrain India Society is playing an important role in developing ties of friendship and cooperation between our two countries in economic, cultural, sports, and scientific fields. This society, because of its membership representing the leading Bahraini and Indian businessmen in Kingdom of Bahrain, is uniquely placed to promote trade and economic linkages between businesses of our two countries and thereby furthering economic cooperation. It needs no reiteration that India and Bhutan have deep-rooted civilizational and close ties, which have recently expanded and diversified to include new areas of cooperation. Our bilateral trade now is about $1 billion. We have a multifaceted relationship with Bahrain. However, there is still a lot of potential, particularly in the area of trade and investment. Besides the traditional sectors of energy, food security, IT, and construction, a lot of new promising areas of cooperation. These include renewable solar energy, high-tech sectors of space and fintech, pharmaceutical and medical devices, tourism and hospitality. In some of these sectors, cooperation is already going on. Friends, today COVID-19 has presented many challenges world over, not only in the field of health but impacted our economic systems. However, with every challenge comes an opportunity. Both in India and Bahrain, the governments have taken measures to stimulate economic growth and thus opening up more and newer areas of collaboration and cooperation. The clarion call of Atmanirbhar Bharat by Prime Minister of India, Shri Narendra Modi, is an idea of an India which will engage with the global community. It aims at India becoming much stronger part of global supply chain and global value chain. The initiatives undertaken by the Government of India in recent months, like transport, transparent and digital tax system, insolvency and bankruptcy code, comprehensive labor reforms, has made India a very business-friendly country. Project and schemes like world's largest housing program, expansion of renewable energy infrastructure, boosting of railroad and air connectivity, National Digital Health Mission have presented many opportunities for businesses outside India to invest in the country. This is reflected in the fact that foreign investment worth over USD 20 billion has been received by India during this year, even during this pandemic time. The announcement of long-term investment plan by Google, Amazon, and Mubadala investment also reflect the resilience of Indian economy and confidence of investors in India. Similarly, Bahrain has also chalked out Economic Vision 2030, aimed at diversifying into sectors such as technology, real estate, tourism, infrastructure, renewable energy, fintech, and power. Bahrain's favorable regulatory environment with a highly competitive taxation system and percent ownership has made it attractive to Indian IT companies. I'm glad to know that 7 Indian firms have invested about $3 million in this sector in Bahrain last year. Friends, the positive trend in our trade and investment cooperation is visible. Over 3,000 companies are registered in Bahrain with Indian partnership. India's total capital investment into Bahrain is estimated at $1.7 billion. Over past 6 years or so, cumulative FDI inflows from Bahrain into India have registered a marked increase. This now stands as $180 million in 2019, making Bahrain the fourth largest investor from GCC countries after UAE, Saudi Arabia, and Oman. With opening up of asset management company in India with $500 million corpus, close to that, InvestCorp has opened opportunities for increasing portfolio investment from Bahrain into India. We have necessary bilateral mechanisms to facilitate this. The Federation of Indian Chambers of Commerce and Industry and Bahrain Chamber of Commerce and Industry have an MOU. They have established Bahrain India Business Council. Mumtalakat and National Investment and Infrastructure Fund of India are also in discussion for further enhancing Bahraini investment in India. So friends, road ahead as I look at it is full of opportunities. I am confident that Bahrain India Society, a group of successful and eminent businesses, would definitely take advantage of these emerging opportunities and would further strengthen trade and economic ties. The society can also act as catalyst by informing the business community of both sides about the recent reforms and initiatives taken by the respective governments to promote trade and investment. I invite you all to be part of this journey and take bilateral relations between India and Kingdom of Bahrain to greater heights. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Excellency. What I would like is, before I open the floor for question and answer and some interaction, Mr. Abdullah Bishola, I would like you to say a few words also, please. You have to unmute yourself, Mr. Chola. Mr. Abdullabi, you are muted. You have to unmute yourself. We can't hear you. Mr. Abdullabi, yeah, that's better. No, you got muted again.
Raj, after that, Excellency Dhafar Al-Umran wants to say something.
Okay, but that will come under question
Okay.
answer sessions. Yes, Mr. Abdullabi.
You hear me now. Well, thank you very much. Well, after what the ambassador have said, there is hardly anything can be added. I believe, as the ambassador has spotted, we have a very solid ground that has been built already and established throughout the years and the ages in having a strong base for us to build on. So we have no excuse. All of us have to work together. We have to coordinate with the embassy. We have to work hard to support all the efforts. I'm aware, and I'm sure, and all of you are aware, that our government and our leadership, and in particular His Majesty the King, is very much keen to ensure that we continue to contribute and will support any project or any idea that helps or contribute to growing the relationship already between the two countries. I understand. I spoke with Raj a couple of days ago, or in fact today itself as well, that probably we need to talk to the ambassador and see how we can focus our effort this year, or probably now this year is almost going to end, but this term, and if we can focus on contributing and supporting and working to ensure that our business relationship continues. We know that COVID-19 must have had a dent on the business side with everybody and every sector, and with the trade relations with every country. And I think probably India and Bahrain's relationship will not be an exception. So probably we have to take an extra effort, to make extra effort to ensure that we are back on a track for the growth, Mr. Ambassador. And I can assure you once again that we in the society, we will be very glad and very happy and very willing and prepared to work with you in any way possible. I can tell you also, you will find the same feeling and the same attitude from every businessman in Bahrain. They know, and they have always traded with India. Khalid Al-Zayani has shown you that he is the fourth generation of businessmen working with India. And you will find also many like Khalid in Bahrain. So good luck, Mr. Ambassador, and let's keep it up. Thank you.
Thank you. When we have ambassadors like Abdul Nabi Shola from Bahrain talking about India, that only enhances the whole thing more. You know, it brings in synergy, having two ambassadors, the Indian ambassador and the Bahrain ambassador. Thank you, Abdul Nabi. Thank you. Now, I think, Madhavan, what I would do is we will open the floor for any question and answers. But before that, I believe Dhafar had a question, or you wanted a comment?
Want to comment, yeah.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I just want, Your Excellency, I just came today to say welcome to you to Bahrain. Your first name is Piyush, right? Or am I pronouncing it wrong?
Piyush. Yeah.
Ambassador Piyush.
Very correct.
I just want you to know I have retired now. I'm a retired ambassador from the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. I worked 40 years in the 45 years in the government, 25 years of them at the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and I was in charge when I was an undersecretary of the relation between Bahrain and India. So I have a lot of, I can say I have a modest experience in the relation, and I had a team going and coming all the time. And I can tell you, you should be, you're coming to the right place, to the right country. You don't have to worry about the relation between Bahrain and India because it has been well established for many years. Like my friend Abu Mish'al Abdel Nabi Sha'la, His Excellency, just mentioned, our friend Khalid Zayani, and many other people who have been with the Indian community, working with them for hundreds of years. So really, all you have to do is come and enjoy Bahrain, enjoy yourself, enjoy the people. You will find out that you have the nicest people here that will accommodate you and take care of you and will support you. And we are all here to support you. So if you need anything, even from me, even I'm not now anymore in the ministry, but everybody takes my advice. So you can count me as an advisor anytime you need for any help between Bahrain and India. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Dafar. Madhavan, any questions? If you can perhaps read out the questions, then the ambassador can answer them.
And I'm not, I think I would request everybody, to type your name if you want to raise a question, because we are not able to see all of you together. So if you raise your hand, we may not be able to see you. And another request to all the members or guests who are not board members, please type your name and the phone number so that we will be able to get in touch with you. Mr. Talal Manai raised his hand. Maybe.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. First of all, I could not really introduce myself during the presentation, Your Excellency. I'm sorry. Somebody has muted me.
And you get a better opportunity to introduce yourself now with a bigger crowd.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Your Excellency, welcome to Bahrain. I look forward to meet you in person in the very near future. I would like to introduce myself. I am a member of the Bahrain Indian Society. I've been in the board for 2 terms. And I'm very proud to work with all my colleagues in the board and in the society to promote the trade and cultural relationship between Bahrain and India. We are actually having a great, as a family, as Al Manai family, we have a great relationship with India. I am actually from the 7th generation. We had our office in India till 1962. Of course, we are trading in natural bills from more than 100 years ago until today. We have also diversified into other businesses in manufacturing, in real estate, in automotive, as well as we have opened a new company, especially for renewable energy and for metal fabrication. And I would like to take this opportunity to join hands with Indian companies and to develop joint ventures. And I hope that this is going to be something that we can work together. And I welcome you again. And I have a question, since I'm now on the mic, that where you can see the Bahrain and Indian development going on. What are the priorities for developing the relationship between Bahrain and India? Thank you, Your Excellency. Hello?
Yeah, if you want to answer, Your Excellency, if you can answer his...
Okay, I can. Yeah. No, first of all, thank you very much. And let me again reiterate that I am not at all worried. I have come to, I think, most beautiful country, most friendly people, and our relationship is so deep and so strong. It's a civilizational relationship. So the foundations are very, very, and all I have to do is, as Your Excellency rightly said, that just work with my counterparts in government of Bahrain and leading business people, persons like you, to take our relations forward. And I only see our relations going from strength to strength. In the traditional areas, we have very active interaction at the leadership level. As you all would know, last year Prime Minister Modi visited, and prior to that we had a number of ministerial level interaction, and all this, a great push to the relationship was given by the visit of His Majesty the King to India. in 2014. So I see from now onward the relations going from strength to strength and diversifying into the new sectors. And I actually look into some sectors which are innovation driven, high technology sectors where the resources can be pooled, human resources, IT sector, digital sectors, and of course the fintech sectors. Because for Indian businessmen, there are opportunities in Bahrain. Bahrain also serves as a gateway to GCC countries, and in India also, the lot of measures have been taken to encourage and invite the foreign investment. So I would only see that our relations going from strength to strength. Thank you.
Talal, just because you had the opportunity to talk about your business to all the members, so you are officially being nominated as a sponsor for this program for 500 dinars. Thank you.
Okay, there is a comment from Mr. Prachur Shukla, if you'll permit me. Your Excellency, this is Prachur Shukla from Alba. My question or say note on one of the major sector aluminium, due to vision of His Majesty and HRH, His Royal Highness the Prime Minister and His Royal Highness Crown Prince vision has made Bahrain one of the largest single site smelter in the world, provides opportunity for downstream industry investment from India, and same time Bahrain can look for upstream JV in India for alumina.
Yeah, I think that's a great area of investment and business cooperation, and maybe at some point of time we can discuss it in greater detail and to see how we can take it forward. Because I see this is a potential sector. India has a lot of alumina. India also has smelters, expertise, and as you rightly said, in Bahrain you have largest single site smelter. So there is a huge potential for collaboration in this area. And we will surely, I look forward to discussing with you to look at how we can increase it further, maybe in the forum of Bahrain India Society. Thank you.
Our treasurer, Mr. P.S. Balasubramaniam, who is a chartered accountant, he has been here for several years. He was the past chairman of the Bahrain chapter of the Institute of Chartered Accountants of India. He has a question, Your Excellency. Balu, if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yes, please go ahead.
Okay. Good evening, everybody. Mr. Ambassador, welcome to Bahrain. As you have heard, I have lived in most GCC countries. I am in the region for the last 40 years. And I can vouch personally that there is no country like Bahrain and no people like Bahrainis who welcome. And this is the best place that I have ever lived. And I'm here since the last 20 years. Of course, as Madhavan said, I'm a chartered accountant. I'm treasurer of the Bahrain India Society. And I'm also involved with the Indian Community Relief Fund. And I'm also mentor for the Bahrain chapter of the Institute of Chartered Accountants. I run a CA practice. I have an audit firm. I have a consultancy firm. And plus, I also have an insurance broking company. Now, what I wanted to mention, since there are, many number of Bahraini businessmen as well as Indian businessmen who are, doing trade and business between the two countries, we had, as Bahrain India Society, right from Mohammed Bai's time, we have been, approaching the ministry and the embassy for the double taxation treaty agreement between Bahrain and India. Because as you know, Mr. Ambassador, this is, a real bottleneck especially for the insurance industry. Several, because IRDA says that only if there is a double taxation treaty, the withholding of tax will not be applicable. And as you know, many of the Indians also are obliged to pay higher TDS because of non-availability of DTAA. And plus also, even for several, and by the way, only Bahrain does not have DTAA in the entire MENA. Every other country has got double taxation treaty agreement except Bahrain. And the Bahraini side, I can definitely say, because I have been interacting with the Minister of Finance, etc. they are, I'm sure the businessmen will vouch for that. They are interested to sign this treaty, but for some reason, there is no progress from the other side. So it would be a request that if Your Excellency can please take it up, and we will definitely give you all the statistics. We will also forward to you the letter, so that if this can be considered, that will be a great achievement for the two countries, which will enhance the promotion of business between the two countries. That's my submission. Thank you, sir.
No, thank you, Mr. Balasubramanian. And I am aware of this double taxation avoidance agreement discussions going on. And in fact, I also understand that this is now pending at our end at the Ministry of Finance. So I am looking at the papers, and I'll assure you that I will take it up with our government so that we can expeditiously move on this front. And I'll update after once I take it up with the government, because I see not many reasons why it should not happen. But let me go through it, and I will take it up with my government.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
There's a question from Meera Ravi. She's a journalist, and she runs a magazine called Salam Bahrain. And the question is here, sir, are there any developments between India and Bahrain in the field of the COVID-19 vaccine, or for that matter, any other medical front in the battle against the pandemic?
Yeah, on this, as you may be aware, that our two countries have already cooperated, and they have good cooperation in tackling this COVID-19 pandemic. One is, of course, the repatriation of Indian nationals, the Air Vande Bharat mission, the air bubble arrangement. Other part is the medical cooperation, in which we had supplied some medicines which are related to COVID HCQs. And even for the vaccine, India is also developing two vaccines which are in the, I think now going into phase 3 trial. And we are also cooperating with Oxford and also with the Russian vaccine. And we would very much like to partner with all friendly countries in production, in the supply chain, and we are in discussion with the government of Bahrain in this regard. So but it's still it's going into the phase 3 trial, the vaccine into India. And as the government of India is committed to, even though the demand in India itself is very huge for the vaccine when it comes up for production, but we will definitely like to partner with all friendly countries, and Bahrain is a very important country in our extended neighborhood policy. And we would certainly like to share whatever expertise as well as vaccines we have. So these are initial discussions. Discussions are at initial stages now.
Your Excellency, there's a question from Mr. Sevi Mathurni. He's a past chairman of the Kerala Catholic Association in Bahrain, and he wants to know, for FDI in India, is there any minimum ceiling amount?
For FDI?
Yeah,
I think maybe, I think first these details, maybe I'll have to get back to you on the exact figures. I may not remember FDI actually, but it depends on the sector. There are certain sectors where the 100% FDI is allowed, certain 74%, 49%, because FDI regime has been greatly liberalized in India, and I'm sure it's available in the open literature. But is there any specific sector? Kindly let me know, then I'll get back to you on the cap on the FDI in that sector.
Okay. Recently, there's a Miss Tanima Chakrabarti. She wants to say a few words. She's from the Business Women of Bahrain representing India. She's also a member of our society. Tanima, can you hear me?
Hello. Hi. His Excellency, I just want to say welcome from all of us. I'm a very proud member of the Bahrain Indian Society. It's so proud. I feel proud of representing India. In fact, all of us ladies feel proud of representing India in Bahrain, and we are also so happy and proud of our colleagues and everyone in Bahrain who are so supportive to us and have always supported. So I just wanted to welcome you on behalf of all the ladies and women here in Bahrain who are there. I hope you have a lovely journey, and we are looking for a very healthy and a good collaboration with you in future. Very fruitful. That's
Thank you so much. Thanks.
Thank you.
There's a question from Shah Nawaz. He's a CA working as a partner with a reputable international firm. In recent times, there are opportunities to start the online professional education or schooling, which can have a base in India and can cater the needs of Indian and GCC nationals. Is there any initiative His Excellency can share?
In the field of education, I see a great potential. We have had great relations in this field, the two countries. A number of dignitaries, students from Bahrain had studied in India, and we also have a number of Indian schools here. There is a great tradition of exchanges, but I am not aware of any such kind of arrangement at the moment. But definitely, like Indian schools give CBSE board certification, so that is done as per the understanding. But this is an area certainly one should look into, and in fact, I see education as a potential area of cooperation. We might find some innovative ways of working, as the one you are suggesting is the online professional education, or some sort of collaboration between the, say, two universities, University of Bahrain with one of the reputed universities of India, where there could be, after, of course, there are system of some student exchange, faculty exchange, so as to increase this collaboration. So I will definitely, this is an area, it's a promising area, and we can certainly look into this to take forward the cooperation.
Your Excellency, there's a question from Ms. Raji Unnikrishnan. She's a journalist working with the Gulf Daily News, one of the leading daily news English newspapers in Bahrain. The question is, in the scene of COVID-19, businesses are hit globally. The case is no different in Bahrain as well. There are a number of Indian businesses, mainly running small and medium businesses, affected heavily. Is there anything that is in the pipeline to support this segment in collaboration with the Bahraini authorities?
Sorry, I think I missed your question in between.
She was asking, whether there's any plan for the India government to support the Indian businesses which are in Bahrain, the small and medium sector, who are affected substantially because of the pandemic.
Yeah, as you know, because of the pandemic, it has affected the economies worldwide. And first of all, let me place on record our sincere thanks and appreciation to the leadership and the government of Kingdom of Bahrain for taking care of the Indian community, not only in terms of providing the free medical support, but also providing infrastructural support to the businesses and individuals in terms of relief from electricity, water, as well as, I think, some loan payments. In India also, we are dealing with the situation, and I'm sure in the spirit of excellent cooperation, we will look into all such issues, and I'm sure as the situation improves, the condition of the businesses also will improve, and maybe if there are any specific issues, if there are something which if you are aware, please bring it to our notice. We will see what we can do into this in the present scenario. Thank you.
May I request all the participants to switch on their videos we would like to have a photograph and please, because we have several screens, it may take a few seconds extra. You'll have to bear with us and you have to hold your smiles. Give your best smile and then let us see how good a photograph we can get. All the members, please, all the participants, please switch on your videos. And I'm taking a permission for taking a photograph granted.
Okay.
I still have only 13 videos on.
Yeah, I think.
Okay, Madhavan, I want to.
Please. One, two, three. Okay. Thank you very much.
Madhavan?
Yeah. Soman, just a second, let her take the photograph.
1, 2, 3. Just a minute. Can I please get some more videos on? Cameras, please.
This
And
is the
smile.
last opportunity.
And the smile.
And a smile. 1, 2, 3. No one wants to open their camera more?
A few have regretted they'll not be able to switch on the camera.
Okay.
Yeah, so you'll have to manage with what we have.
Thank you very much. I'm done.
Okay, Soman, you wanted to say something?
Yeah. I just wanted to say, Your Excellency, welcome to Bahrain. I already discussed a few things with His Excellency, the Ambassador. The one thing I really, in this situation, the COVID-19 and these flights and all. First of all, Excellency, congratulations on signing the agreement, air bubble agreement between India and Bahrain. This agreement was valid, but only 650 seats every week from India to Bahrain. That is very, very small number. So there are hundreds and thousands are stranded there in India. They are still waiting to come back to Bahrain. So any chance, Excellency, you can take it up with the authorities to increase the number, and also possibly if they can reduce the fare also. So that will be great, Excellency. So thank you very much, Excellency, for making the arrangement for the business changes. So you are in a safe country. You are with the Bahrainis who are the best people you can associate with. Thank you, Your Excellency.
Your Excellency, before you comment on that, I forgot to introduce Soman. Soman is a member of the Board of Directors of Bahrain India Society, and he's also a prominent journalist, a long-time journalist. I don't know whether I can say that he's a senior-most journalist by age. I'm not sure. And over to Your Excellency.
Yeah, thank you, Sonamji. This air bubble arrangement, actually, in the initial month, there was a restriction. There is a restriction on number of passengers which can come from India, and this is as per the government of Bahrain's policy. So I think we have started with this, but given the situation that there is a great demand, so I'll take it up with them if possible, with the request if numbers can be increased. And as far as fare is concerned, it is now very open. This is under this air bubble arrangement. People can book with the both airlines directly. Only the arrangement is like the regular flight, but only restriction is that there are lesser number of flights. There is a ceiling on the number of passengers which can travel from India to Bahrain. Otherwise, it's like the open booking. Embassy doesn't have much role, but definitely if there are issues regarding fares and if it is felt, then definitely you can bring it to our attention. We will have a word with the concerned authorities in the government of Bahrain to look into this. But it's free. I mean, it's like commercial. So we, as a government, we don't have any role in the booking of tickets and all. But numbers, I will certainly, if there is a great demand, then I'll take it up with the government.
Thank you. Thank you, Excellency. Thank you.
Madhavan, I think
There's
if
one
there's
more
a-
question from
okay, the
Yogendra
last
Madhav.
question, Madhavan, because we want to close it at 8 as per we had agreed. The last
Okay.
question, please.
Okay. Respected Excellency the Ambassador, we welcome you to Bahrain and look forward to enhancing Indo-Bahrain relationship to greater heights under your wise leadership. And this is Yogendra P. Madan, and a very senior member of the Indian community in Bahrain. And there's no question, it's only just a comment.
I look forward to.
Right. I think with this, we come to this evening, fellow members of Bahrain India Society. Guests, I hope you have all enjoyed this interaction with our Indian ambassador this evening. I think it was very stimulating. The questions were interesting. The answers were to the point. And I'm sure we are looking forward to many more interactions like this. Your Excellency, I think you have heard from each and everybody who has spoken out this evening, be it a Bahraini or be it an Indian, how good Bahrain is as a host nation. And I think you will say the same thing after your tenure or even during your tenure to all your friends in India, how good Bahrain is to everybody. And I can vouch for it after 42 years in this country. So it surely is a great place. And we wish you a very enjoyable tenure and we look forward to working with you. Your last comments before we close off or sign off.
I think I have already spoken enough. So as a closing comment, I would just say how much I enjoyed this interaction, meeting with all of you, the members of Bahrain India Society, both Bahraini businessmen as well as Indian community. And I also learned a lot during this interaction. I also got to know some of the priorities in your thinking and where we can take it forward. And I look forward to continued interaction. The forum also out on this. If there are any issues, please bring it to our notice. And we are there to support and facilitate everything. And lastly, I would just say that I look forward to working very closely with all of you to enhance our bilateral relations, and also seeing you maybe at the soonest possible personally, depending on the situation. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Once again, thank you. And on behalf of our board, I personally, together with my distinguished board, look forward to working on a real interactive way with Your Excellency. Thank you very much. I would like to thank my board again for being with us this evening. A special thanks to Mr. Abdullah Bishola, as always, being a strong pillar of support. Khalid Zayani, all your knowledge. Mr. Abdullah Juma, we can't forget you. I mean, everybody's experience adds in, and our friend Dafar, of course, he brings in a lot of experience with himself and all the other board members. Of course, our Vice Chairman, Mr. Abdul Rahman Juma, stays very quiet at the back, but he pulls a lot of strings. Thank you, Abdul Rahman, for all your help here. With this, I'll end this evening. Thank you very much. Good night.